Hi, I'm Dan Dalton with Scratch and Peck Feeds.
And I'm Macy with Wardle Feed and Pet Supply.
Are you curious how to save money and increase nutrition for your backyard flock? Let us show you how.
Scratch and Peck Feeds is a family-owned animal feed manufacturer based in Washington State. They source all of their ingredients as close to home as possible, which includes buying their grains from only small regional family farms.
Scratch and Peck Feeds are premium, non-pelletized feeds, which means their whole grains are minimally processed to retain nutrients. You can clearly see the difference, especially when compared next to a pellet feed.
Another standout for Scratch and Peck Feeds is that they are certified organic, non-GMO project verified, and soy-free.
As we like to say at Scratch and Peck, you are what your animals eat.
Fed straight from the bag, Scratch and Peck Feeds are properly formulated so that you can trust that your birds are getting all the nutrition they need.
But here's the secret. You can ferment your flock's feed to further their nutrition. Fermentation helps release the stored nutrients of the grain by unlocking the dormancy of the seed. That makes the feed easier for the chickens to digest and improves the overall bioavailability of the nutrients.
For example, fermenting can make the proteins in grains more digestible. Better protein absorption can help with healthier egg production.
If that's not enough reason to try fermenting, how about this? Fermenting feed requires less per serving, which can save you on your feed bill.
Whether used daily or as a treat, the fermenting process is as easy as adding water and letting the grain soak for approximately 3 to 4 days, depending on the weather. The hotter the climate, the less time is needed to ferment.
Here's how you do it.
Pour non-chlorinated water over the feed and mix thoroughly. You want about 2 parts water to 1 part feed. Make sure the water is covering the feed completely the entire time. Otherwise, there's a risk of the feed molding. Leave room in the container because as the feed ferments, it will expand. Let the fermenting feed sit at room temperature for at least 1 day, keeping the lid loose the entire time. Stir the mixture once per day. Bubbles will form when the ferment is ready, and there will be a slight sour smell, similar to sourdough bread. This step can take up to 4 days, depending on temperature, but 3 days is typically the time needed. Once it's ready, feed the fermented mixture, which will be slightly wet, not soupy, in a trough-style feeder so the wet feed doesn't clog the feeder.
Visit the Scratch and Peck website for more information and step-by-step instructions. Scratch and Peck Feeds also offers organic whole grains that can be sprouted for an extra treat for your flock or to add some extra greens in the winter.
Similar to fermenting, sprouting organic whole grains makes the nutrients within the grains more bioavailable and digestible. Plus, it's just as easy to do. Just remember, feeds get fermented and grains get sprouted. Trying to sprout your feeds just won't work. What you'll need for sprouting are plain whole grains such as barley or peas, a quart jar with a lid, a sprouting screen or cheesecloth that fits a quart jar, and fresh non-chlorinated water. To get non-chlorinated water, you can simply use tap water and let it sit out for 24 hours to let the chlorine release. Once you have all the supplies, measure enough grains to fill the jar 1/3 full. Cover the grains with water, screw on the lid, and let them soak for up to 24 hours. That breaks seed dormancy, allowing them to grow. After they have soaked, drain the water from the jar. Replace the jar lid insert with the sprouting screen or cheesecloth, and invert the jar to ensure the grains do not sit in the water. You want them to remain damp, but not soaking. Keep the grains at room temperature for best results. Rinse the grains twice a day with fresh water and drain. Rest the jar tilted on its side after each rinse so the grains are not sitting in water.
Sprout tails typically form within 24 to 48 hours. Once they reach 2 inches in length, they're ready to feed to your flock.
You can refrigerate your sprouts once they've reached the desired length and treat your animals with fresh sprouts a couple times a day.
Visit our website for more information and step-by-step instructions.